in the defensive midfield role, but Tusi Obas with a little more bite than Talente Mbata, says coach Hugo Bruce. Refereeing team today will have plenty of work on their hands. This is going to be potentially a feisty encounter between these two countries. Let's see who wins this particular toss. Gabonese officials in charge today. Pierre Gislain Acho is the man in the middle. Big responsibility for him. And the final picture before they get matters underway. Nigeria coming into this game with 3 changes as well from their match against Rwanda. Troost Ekong, the captain, is back wearing jersey number 5. Onyemachi drops out. Onyeka, the Premier League player, cedes his place to Dele Bashiru in the middle. And up front, no Victor Osimhen, the former African Footballer of the Year, is injured. So Cyril Dessers, born in the Netherlands, has never started a competitive international for Nigeria. He gets the starting berth in attack in a little bit of a surprise ahead of Atorok Dabari, who we expected, the new Wolves signing, we expected would be the key man up front for tonight's encounter. Dusk here over the Free State capital. Plenty of tension in the crowd as well. What a big night for both of these countries. They've certainly had some tough encounters between the two in the past, and this one this evening absolutely no different at all.
It's see the focus on that Nigerian players, and you can see that so much at stake here for them. So hopefully the nerves don't take over in the opening minutes, but South Africa can take advantage of that. The home field.
This will be the 18th meeting between the two countries. South Africa have only won twice against Nigeria. 8 victories for the Super Eagles, 7 draws, but we must point out that South Africa's recent form against Nigeria has been good. Nigeria managing to win just one of their last 8 games against South Africa in open play. That means that the last encounter at the Africa Cup of Nations in the Ivory Coast, the semi-final, was a draw. Nigeria advancing to the final on a penalty shootout. Aina with the first attack, the long throw from the English-born right-back straight into the arms of Ronwen Williams. He'll be pleased, Stanton, early on to get a little touch of the ball.
Yeah, always good confidence for goalkeeper to get that first touch. Just to touch on the starting lineup for South Africa, Duniello at right-back came in for injured Nico Mobi, and I think he acquitted himself extremely well against Lesotho, so he keeps his place. And then I think the more experienced Gazana in the central defence now.
Gazana was spared against Lesotho because he is carrying 1 yellow card and they didn't want to risk it. Kota down the right-hand side. This is a very inexperienced South African side by average. It's Kelvin Bassi holding back in Kota. It's a little bit of a flyweight versus heavyweight boxing scrimmage there. Certainly physically the Nigerians much more imposing than South Africa. And Kota's 4th cap. Mbule playing only a 2nd competitive international, excuse me, a 3rd competitive international for South Africa. 4 caps for Mbakazi, 2 for Dinyelwa, 2 for Kabini. There are a lot of inexperienced players. There's been a lot of injury problems for both Nigeria and for Hugo Bruce. And you were mentioning Dinyelwa on the right-hand side. Remember, he's probably the 4th choice because there's no Koliso Mudau, no Tapelo Morena, both out injured. And Nico Mobi hurt against Lesotho. First free kick in anger from South Africa. Mokoena looking to get this back, and Bokazi over the top here. Now Apollos has got pace. Just comes away off his chest. He was also being physically manhandled there. It's going to be a tough battle for the South Africans physically against Nigeria. Dresses with a foul there.
And that has always been a disparity. The size of South Africans generally smaller, but you can use that to your advantage. Use your speed and skill to counter the physicality of the Nigerians.
Danielwa was the player who was pulled back there. This was that earlier chance for Apollos. Crowd getting behind the home side. Williams again. Possession turned over. This is Alex Iwobi. Good strong challenge on him. That'll be a confidence booster in the midfield for the likes of Obas and Mokoena. The Mamelodi Sundowns pair are on duty today, with Talente Mbata from Orlando Pirates dropped to the bench for today's encounter.
And you can understand that Obas coming in for Talente Mbata. I think that's the physicality aspect where you're going to have to assert yourself in the middle of the park there. And speaking of the inexperienced side for South Africa, I think that's where Tebogo Mokoena becomes so important for South Africa. He's got a whole lot of experience and confidence, and he should be leading that midfield.
Nigeria's coach Eric Cheles had one match in charge previously against South Africa. It was for Mali in the Cup of Nations in the Ivory Coast. He won that one in Korogo in the group phase. Good start here for Bafana. Chance at the back post. And Kota maybe had a bit of time to try and bring that down off the chest. Not a man you readily think of as a back post scorer with a head.
Excellent drop of the shoulder there from Apollos. I think Nkota had a few days ago in his memory where the first time goal he took against Lesotho, it was a cross from the opposite end.
That's a good clearing error at the back from Mbokazi, just 19 years old, playing only for the 4th time in national team colours, and already, as he's proven at club level as well, looks to the manner born. Now, South Africa showing some really good footballing skills here in these early stages, and Nigeria are chasing shadows. And this is going to please the crowd, and that additional backing and noise for South Africa could well prove vital. Ndidi from Leicester City with the clearing touch, and Mbule feels he should have got a free kick for that. Danielwa will take the throw in to Foster. Apollos not alive to the opportunity. Kelvin Bassey, who plays in the Premier League, with the throw in. He was a junior at Arsenal, now with Fulham, of course. Played at Ajax Amsterdam. Centre back in the last game, but switched across onto the left-hand side here today, with Onyemache dropped for today's encounter.
I'm not too sure if that's going to be a smart move for the Nigerians, because South Africa with a lot of pace down the wings.
Now Iwobi looking to get Nigeria going. He'll be so key in the playmaking stakes. That's a nice little touch from Kabini. Up against the Premier League player in Aina. Plays for Nottingham Forest these days. His manager was sacked in the morning, so he'll come back, or he'll go back to the UK later on this week. Not sure if who'll be in charge.
I think Ange Postecoglou was spotted at the offices of Forest, where he would take over.
There's a Greek connection, of course, with the Greek owner of Nottingham Forest. Well, it's good intel there, Staten Fredericks. No wonder they've got you here for the big match. Aina looks to be in a bit of trouble. There was a real strong race with Kabini. This does not look good for Nigeria. Troost Ekong comes across. Eric Chell's appointment as coach of Nigeria was really something of a shock after the Cup of Nations. He took his Mali team to the quarter-finals, but didn't have much of a track record there. The Portuguese Jose Peseiro as the previous coach, former assistant with Jose Mourinho.
This can't be good news for Nigeria. You just mentioned how important Aina will be down this right-hand flank for Nigeria.
The hamstring there, which is not a good sign, because those injuries tend to linger a little bit. Daniel Don at the top there, the president of SAFA, along with the sports minister, Gayton McKenzie.
Is that Natasha Chiklas on the end?
That's correct, on the right-hand side. Nigeria are being forced into an early changer. Ola Aina can play no further part in this game, and that is going to be something of a blow, not only to Nigeria, but to the player himself and the next few weeks of Premier League action. We've got to give it to young Kabini, though, tested early on and coming up trumps the former Galaxy player who's now playing in Norway. So Nigeria down to 10 for the moment as they look to get the sub on. In the meantime, South Africa clear their lines. Frederick finds Bassi, light-footed clearance upfield. Nice and busy early on, Osman Apollos, and really asserting himself in this game, and another free kick against Ndidi on Mokoena.
A great combination there, Mokoena. Just in front of him is Sipho Mbule. You know the history between those two, grew up together at Supersport. So that department will be intuitive. And Mbule just becoming the connection between midfield and striker. And in the last game against Lesotho, connected nicely with leading the line, Foster.
Ola Aina is replaced by another English-born or English-based player, Bright Osei Samuel. Birmingham City in the Championship in England is where he is. He was with Jose Mourinho and Fenerbahce last season. Now Moses Simon has played most of his club career in France. I was about to say he has had a rather solid club career. Didn't even jinx him there.
Currently with Paris FC, yeah. Great work here from Ndunielwa. Eye on the ball. Forced him with the cross.
I think that's something to do with the pitch, though.
I think so. A small bubble there.
Moses Simon, a regular over the last couple of World Cup qualifying campaigns. One of the more senior members of this Nigerian side. A couple of players in here, Iwobi and Ndidi, all with past World Cup experience. Itching to get back their last appearance in Russia, 2018, Nigeria. Gazana back to Ronwen Williams, scuffs that ball.
A bit of a heavy, hard pass back to Williams.
He also usually takes his time with those, but you can see he's not going to take any chances here tonight. He knows what's at stake. Nice little touch in there to deny Nigeria, and that'll be a goal kick. So Simon feels he should have got a corner. The referee does not concur, and for the moment, Ndunielwa is winning all the battles.
Follow through there on the shin, and I think the condition of the pitch is the reason why Williams won't take too many chances there.
Initial back pass from Gazana, just putting South Africa in a bit of trouble. They're still making their way in. Once again, the habit of South African fans straggling their way to the stadiums continues. By no means full here at the Free State Stadium. Stanley Nwabali, Chippa United goalkeeper, long ball forward, and Bukazi back to goalkeeper Williams. Has felt the impact of that.
Yeah, we done the Zambia-Morocco game, which was at 3 o'clock yesterday on a Monday afternoon, and the stadium was packed.
In Ndola, Zambia.
Not a productive day for the economy in Zambia yesterday.
This is a second cap for Kabini. Played 90 minutes against Mozambique in June in the friendly international, which South Africa won 2-0 in Polokwane for his first outing.
Some nifty footwork there from Mokoena.
a good test for Mokoena, just personally today, when he's up against Ndidi, who plays in the Premier League, or he used to play in the Premier League, now in the Championship with Leicester. He's with Iwobi, who plays for Fulham. Just to measure himself, we all know that were he to be given the chance to go and play internationally, he certainly would be a good performer. That's a little too strong for Nkota.
Just pointed that he wanted the ball in front of him. A little bit heavy there from Apollos.
Norman Kalele on the right-hand side scored a vital goal against Zambia to qualify South Africa, or to make sure of qualification for the World Cup in 1998. South Africa's 2 remaining matches most likely to both be played in this country. They have a home game against Rwanda, and then away against Zimbabwe, or in fact it's the other way around. The Zimbabwe away game is likely to be here in South Africa. Zimbabwe have been using the Orlando Stadium as a venue, though it's not proven too fruitful for them. They lost earlier today. They might want to take their game to Polokwane and might get a bit more support, the Zimbabweans, and make it more of a home game. But South Africa could then just stay for the game against Rwanda. No need to move. Works out perfectly. Essentially then the last 4 matches in the qualifiers, all on home soil. You couldn't actually ask for a better scenario. Foster down.
Yeah, and I think that's what South Africa done with these 2 encounters. Stay in one city, yeah.
Now Iwobi. Too strong. Not finding their range at the moment, Nigeria. Playing with a little more initiative and tempo than they did against Rwanda on Saturday. There really was a bit of a ball fest, the game in Uyo. Settled with a goal in the second half. There were not too many chances in that match.
I just look at Iwobi now. He's transitioned nicely his position, more an attacking player. But I think in the last 2 seasons for club and country, playing a little bit of a deeper role. And I think he's excelled tremendously in more of a 6 over 8.
He's very good at getting forward as well, as a nice turn of pace. Standing match he had recently against Man United at the start of the Premier League campaign. That's almost nicked away by Mokoena, but this might be an opportunity now on the right-hand side. The new man, Osei Samuel, who's just come on, up against Kabini and being shoved off the ball there by the South African defenders. Osman Apollos helping out. Obas back, just a little too strong with that pass. There's been a high turnover in possession in these early stages. Good commitment here from South Africa. Mbukazi coming across, and well, he's let Osei Samuel know who's the boss at the back.
Let him know who the TLB is cleaning up.
Now, but Tusi Obas is not happy with Ademola Lookman, the African Footballer of the Year, number 7 for Nigeria. Well, we did expect it would be a bit of a testy affair. Mbukazi with a good shove in the chest there of Osei Samuel. You've got to give him credit, the Nigerian biting back. I'm surprised to see Mbule amongst the combatants. It is a wonderful venue, this Free State Stadium. A little bit of a remodel for the 2010 World Cup, but not too much done to the stadium. Next door cricket ground, of course, where South Africa have played one-day internationals. Now Lookman, not seen much of him in these early stages. Trying to get past Ngazana. That's success for the South African defender, and he'll get the free kick as well.
It's getting a bit feisty.
And I think Nigeria a little frustrated early on. Referee from Gabon looks to be a calm fellow, and he hands out a yellow to Ngazana and to Lookman. Now Ngazana will not play the next match against Zimbabwe. Let's hope someone at SAFA is keeping the record of that.
Wink, wink. Yeah.
Oh, yes, the elbow into the chest of Lukman was not clever from him, Gazani. He'd won the battle.
Yeah.
No need then to do the body check. He wanted to make a little bit of a statement and landed up getting a yellow card. Iwobi is dispossessed. South Africa giving as good as they are getting from a much physically stronger Nigeria side. Now, can they use their pace? Crossfield ball, yeah, for Nkota. Needs a good first touch. Gets away from him. There are two defenders on him. Going to need all these little skills now. Neatly played inside. The 1-2 across here. A little too strong for Apollos from Batusi Obas. Excellent work from Apollos. Now, can he get the shot in? Rabali with a save. And Foster just beaten to the rebound by Trustekong. Whistle has gone. Apollos might have been in offside position on the return shot. Foster, yeah, chasing onto it, offside. But how well Apollos did to get the shot in on Stanley Mabali.
Excellent there from Apollos. I think that's one of the strengths that he possesses. Even when he loses possession, very quickly closes the player down, trying to regain possession, and I think that's exactly what he done there.
I'll tell you what, these two teams are going to be feeling it when they have finished the 90 here. Such are the tackles and the physical endeavour. Indeed, he just been caught there by Mbule. Cross is comfortably cleared, which will be kept in play.
I think from a South African perspective, if you match Nigeria for the physicality, I think half your job is already done.
9 goals for South Africa in the past against Nigeria, 27 for the Super Eagles in their previous matches against Bafana. It has been somewhat one-sided over the years, perhaps a bit more equilibrium of late. First meeting back in 1992 was also a World Cup qualifier in Lagos. Some of us are old enough to have actually been there that day.
Oh, yeah.
When Nigeria won 4-0, it should have been 8.
Finidi George with a double, yeah?
It was Owabukiri,
yeah.
Rashidi Yakini, and Samson Siasia, who later became the coach. Scoring, I think Owabukiri got 2 or Yakini got 2, but it was not a good watch if you were carrying a South African passport.
There was a Nigerian player that I loved and tried to model my game around, was Babangida.
Tijani Babangida. He was from the next generation. He played against South Africa in 2000 when they beat South Africa in the semis of the Cup of Nations in Lagos, 3-0 that day. It was a team with John Mashweo and Mark Fish. Nigeria scored early and never looked back. Jojo Kocha, Peba, players like that. Now, here they come. South Africa looking to cut inside. Drag to the byline, there's 2 in the middle, not properly cleared. My word, is that a Premier League defender? With that sort of defensive work. Half chance there for South Africa. Well, these early exchanges, first part of the first half here, certainly if it was a boxing battle, we'd have South Africa ahead on points. All meaningless, of course, it's the goals that's going to count.
And they can take a lot of confidence from this opening 20.
Rain, thunder and lightning.
If this was the US,
yeah, I was about to say, lucky we're not in America, as we'd be sitting inside eating sandwiches now.
Just look at the size difference between Nkota. This time Mbule out to assist. That's the second time he's clipped someone from behind, needs to be careful.
This is one department where Mbule has not been gifted the same amount of skills as we see from him in other departments. Here they come, South Africa driving through the middle. Too strong for Kabini. Pass from Mokoena. Good to see the fullbacks getting forward now. Altitude is going to be a little bit of a factor for Nigeria later on. The fact that they played on Saturday rather than on Friday, spent most of Sunday travelling straight down from Nigeria, arrived in Bloemfontein late in the evening, so they really only just had yesterday to recuperate, regenerate. Alex Chele having one training session. Normally the coach would just leave the players, have a little bit of a video talk, and that's it. Just let them rest. So I wonder later on whether fatigue is going to be a factor in this game, and that would be to the home side's advantage. South Africa have been resting up since Friday night.
Yeah, and taking into account that most of these Nigerian players have travelled from Europe to the first game, and they after another trip down south, it will all add up.
South Africa ball. Bruce very quickly off his bench. Now through the middle, Nkota. Can he get it square? Own goal! Troost Ekong has put the ball in the back of the net for South Africa. He scored twice against Bafana in the past, one from the penalty spot. Now he scores for South Africa against his own team. Smiles all round.
Decisive movement there from South Africa, threatening early on down the flanks. It was a quick throw in there. I think it was Mokoena, or Obas rather, that set through for Nkota. Excellent ball played, hard and low, difficult for the defender to defend, facing his goal, and ended up putting it in the back of his own net there. Ekong, a substitute this evening.
Well, if he hadn't made the interception, it was going straight for Lyle Foster. So, South Africa have that early lead that they were looking for. Nigeria have got to fight their way back now. But the two speedy wingers, Apollos and Nkota, are making the difference here today. Is this one step closer to the World Cup finals in North America next year for South Africa? They were certainly not favourites for this group when they were paired with Nigeria. There were a lot of moans and groans when Bafana came out of the hats. In fact, it was South Africa out first, and then Nigeria went in as top seeds. Lovely ball, Mokoena looking for Apollos. Stanley Nwabali beaten by his own man. Troost Ekong will know what sort of flack he's going to pick up in Nigeria if that proves decisive. Away from Ngizana, not very far though. This is Moses Simon down this left-hand flank, always dangerous. Yelwa does the business for the moment.
Hardly seen striker of Nigeria, Desas, even have a touch of the ball.
No. He's given away a foul. I think that's the only contribution we've had from him so far.
Aren't they missing Osimhen right now?
No, Lukman, he's dangerous. Very quickly in there, Nkota helping out with defence, and Mokoena, Obas, neatly done. Yes, Foster has a look up. A little bit of skills from Lyle Foster, gets past the challenge of Ndidi, ball inside, and then being pulled back by Bassi. Excuse me, it was Mbule, not Foster.
The sulky skills of Mbule, unlocking that defence, twisting and turning, using the strength of his body.
Well, he rode the foul from Ndidi.
Excellent.
Look at Sipho Chain getting off the bench there to applaud Mbule's work.
Without getting ahead of myself, Mbule slowly starting to fulfill the potential that we always knew was there. If he has a solid performance against a star-studded Nigeria, should be the beginning.
Well, you hope so. I mean, the move to Orlando Pirates, in my opinion, is the kind of move to sort him out. It's a club where hopefully they're not going to take any nonsense from wayward players. Mbule maybe got away with things at Sundowns that he shouldn't have, and at Sekhukhune United they've obviously frustrated with him, and eventually were happy not to renew the deal with Sundowns. But if he is disciplined, if he is fit, Mbule could certainly be a major factor. Too strong there for Foster. This man's looked impressive as well in South African colours. He's very quickly up to 8 goals already for South Africa after one against Lesotho on Friday.
I had a conversation with him early on, I think last year sometime, and he's got Benny McCarthy's goal-scoring records clearly in sight.
Oh, good. He's got a way to go, though, if memory serves me correctly. Another 21 just to tie McCarthy, whose Kenyan side won earlier today in the World Cup qualifiers. They don't have any chance of going through. This is a good ball into Lukman. Just evades Ademola Lukman. He's played no club football. He's still in a little bit of a dispute with Atalanta, so he might be a bit short on match fitness coming into this game. Looking for a better deal at Atalanta, or now a move away from the club who he competed in a Europa League final for and won the game almost single-handedly.
Excellent brace in that final.
Wow, it was a night to savour for African football enthusiasts. Not often an African player dominates a European club competition final the way that Lukman did for Atalanta in the Europa League. And the major contributing factor to him winning the Footballer of the Year title at the end of last year. I think he's got much chance of winning it this time round. You've got the likes of Mo Salah and others, Hakimi, etc. You go, Bruce, with a smile of satisfaction. Eric Chell will know that if Nigeria don't qualify, he might well get the sack before the Cup of Nations finals in Morocco come the end of the year. Nigeria share their group in that particular tournament with Tanzania, Tunisia and Uganda. South Africa, of course, go to Morocco to play Angola, Egypt and Zimbabwe yet again. The Southern African group spoilt by the Egyptians. They do know how to sing here in Bloemfontein.
And as you mentioned, Mark, is that there's still that second place that Nigeria could possibly aim for if they do not get any points this evening.
Yeah, I think a defeat tonight would make it very hard. There's only 4 places, 4 best second place finishers, but there've been a lot of topsy-turvy results, so I think you're not wrong in suggesting that. Just looking to slow it down now on the Lodi Sundown style. Oh, they've got to be careful not to try and get too fancy. Diagonal ball looking to go over the head of Bassi and find Nkota. Steaming down the flank. Danyelwa, he left the ball behind though. Bassi kept it in play. He's got support from Moses Simon. Ndidi being caught again in the challenge.
Bassi's got his work cut out here. Doubling up from Danyelwa as well as Nkota.
As things stand now, South Africa one step closer to the World Cup finals, and if it stays this way, then we'll all be waiting to see what happens later on this evening in Abidjan, in neutral Ivory Coast, where Benin are hosting Lesotho. Benin beat Zimbabwe at that venue on Friday, and they are the favourites to beat the Basotho, but Lesotho can do South Africa a massive favour if they can stop Benin from winning this evening. Lesotho, of course, on their previous trip to West Africa, got a draw away with Nigeria, which has certainly helped South Africa's cause. In this competition, Nigeria failed to win their first 4 matches in this group. Rather unusual for a country of their pedigree. Bassi to Simon. Iwobi, they really need him to get ticking now, Nigeria. He's the kind of player who can get things going for the Super Eagles and be a little bit of a playmaker in the middle.
Yeah, you're right, and I think Ndidi will be more of the cleaning up behind Iwobi. Need him to get on the ball and be that creative spark and try and link up with the likes of Lukman and Simon.
Dresses gets this out wide to Moses Simon. Iwobi.
Still no shots on target for Nigeria.
Ronald Williams, I think, collected one high ball into the area. That was it. Nice little steal here. This is Foster charging down. Bounce of the ball is difficult for him. Good cover from the defender Frederick. Goal kick it's going to be. 20-year-old youngster who's on loan in Belgium from Brentford. Nigerians tipping him to be a future star, Benjamin Frederick.
With a surname like that.
Play on here. Dresses looks for the free kick. There was a stretch there from Obas. The ball just got away from him and recovered well. Maybe got a bit fortunate there. Here he is again. 15 qualifying matches being played across the continent tonight, so and there are a couple of real biggie games that we must mention. Egypt against Burkina Faso. If Egypt win that one, then they will be going to the World Cup. It's 0-0 at the moment in Ouagadougou. In Kinshasa, DR Congo 1 point ahead of Senegal going into tonight's game, and with home advantage, they lead Senegal by 2-0. So that could be decisive. And the other big one is Cape Verde against Cameroon. Cape Verde 1 point ahead and with home advantage tonight. But no goals in Cape Verde so far. Cameroon went to the Cape Verde about 4 or 5 days ago to prepare. They've really put a lot of effort into it. They know if they lose that one, they could be out of it. Earlier on today, by the way, Namibia beating Sao Tome in Francistown, Botswana, with a hat-trick from Peter Shalolile.
That'll boost his confidence. Not the main starter for Sundowns so far this season.
Got that record-breaking goal, of course, in the last game. They play against Magesi in a match on Sunday in the Betway Premiership. Brought ahead because of African club competition commitments. This is a lovely ball out wide. Kabini pushing forward now. Can he find Apollos just behind him? Simon here for Nigeria. Iwobi. Mokoena is the challenger. Iwobi does so well, draws the 2 South Africans away and finds Ndidi. Osei Samuel on the right-hand side. Back into Ndidi. Iwobi.
Just not quick enough there, Kevin. South Africa a chance to get behind the ball.
Frederick playing the ball out wide. So the own goal separating these two sides. Former PAOK Salonika player who put the ball into his own net. Kota being hurried there by Bassi. He's not going to forget this little man.
Not in a hurry.
No.
Well guided there, Bassi. Him away from danger.
That little push there deemed illegal. Referee's had a good game, I reckon.
Yeah, I think the yellow card to Ngazana
was deserved for the elbow in the ribs.
As well as Lukman. I think that was just a caution to everybody on the field.
Yes.
Settle down.
Ngazana, as a result, suspended for the next game against Zimbabwe. Lots of injuries as well in central defence, though. Grant Kakana and Toby Mvala unavailable. They didn't pick Keanu Cupido, which was a little bit of a surprise. He might come into the equation if Hugo Bruce watches a few more Sundowns matches.
It's been excellent since the Club World Cup. It's been a regular fixture there for Sundowns.
Johnson alongside Howard Kalele, their support staff, SuperSport United goalkeeper coach, national team goalkeeper coach as well. Asking a little too much there of Kabini, but he's battling away. Apollos might steal this. Desperate defence from Nigeria. It's nicely held up by Dressers. Finds Iwobi. Lukman ahead of him, and Simon with a bit of space here on the left-hand side. And Korta's come back. It comes off the chest of Ngazana. And what is Ronwen Williams doing there? He's got to be careful. He had a horrible blunder against Nigeria in 2019 in the final of the Nations Cup. Kong scored the only goal of the game. Got away with one there.
Yeah, a little bit unorthodox, but well done from Ngazana.
Keeping his hands away from the danger, which was uppermost in his mind. Now, Jose Samuel, that looks as if it's gone for a corner.
Impressed so far with Kabini at left back for South Africa.
So, corner kick for Nigeria. Let's see what they've got in their armoury set piece wise. It's taken us a while to get to this situation. Almost 40 minutes before Ademola Lukman takes the kick. London born, as is the likes of Ola Aina, who's gone off. Kelvin Bassi grew up in London, he was actually born in Italy. Obas is making a bit of a meal of that one. And they're queuing up there, Nigeria. That's the first Nigerian queue I've ever seen. Ball's gone out of play from Dele Bashiru. Five minutes to half-time in Bloemfontein at the Free State Stadium. South Africa leading the Super Eagles by a goal to nil. Nigeria need to win this game to keep alive their hopes of a 7th World Cup finals appearance. First one in America in '94 when they beat South Africa in the qualifiers. What then, the likes of Bikini, Stephen King, Amokachi, etc. Wonderful Nigerian side who was so unlucky, got through the group phase and then led Italy just before full time and lost that game in extra time in Boston. Williams stays on his line. Now, Lukman again, off Mokoena. It'll be a third corner for Nigeria. Putting the pressure on, looking for the equaliser. Obas and Betty continuing their wrestling match. Clearing header from South Africa. Now Iwobi, who stand ball, referee says play on. Apollos set forward. Nwabali's come out to provide sweeping cover and deny Nkota progress.
Excellent anticipation there from Nwabali. Trying to use the pace of Nkota is South Africa. Knew exactly what they wanted to do, released him there. Goalkeeper to the rescue.
Iwobi did look to stand on the ball rather than be fouled, so the referee was pretty close by and made a good call on that occasion. Wasn't too many complaints from Iwobi either when he got up off the turf. Iwobi again now cut out. Gazana will just hump this forward. Nobody stays on his line. Now he comes out. Hesitation from the goalkeeper. Ekong. Frederick will come out of the press, finds Bassi here on the left-hand side. Against Nkota. He's showing him a few skills. Iwobi, look at Bassi storming forward. This is Nigeria at their dangerous. Calvin Bassi needs a good challenge, which came from Ngazana. Lukman holds the ball, the defender off well. Dele Bashiru for Nigeria. Burst of pace, now can he square it? Williams is in trouble! They have the equaliser. Bassi came all the way from defence. And Nigeria are back in this game. Fairly simply done as well. Lovely little cross in there, and just the brute strength of Calvin Bassi and others.
Bassi started the move and ended it at a crucial time, just before half-time. The quality of Nigeria comes through. There's Lukman with possession, playing it wide.
Look at this little burst of pace here. This was key.
Should have done better there, Kabini, to prevent the cross. Bassi at the far post.
He was more determined than the South African defenders, was Calvin Bassi. Anywhere and anyhow would do. Let's see who had the final touch. Bassi, flying header over his own man, no foul.
A lovely dink to the far post from Bashiru.
There are the celebrations for Eric Chell. Vital goal for the Super Eagles. Right back in it now. The 30th goal that they've scored against South Africa. On the stroke of half-time as well. Is there a quick reply here? Nkota. Again, goes for goal with the left foot. Not enough power to trouble Stanley Mabali, who's very difficult to beat as well with those higher balls. You've got to try and hit it hard along the ground if you're to catch him out. Apollos looking to turn. Jose Samuel clears his lines. So into stoppage time, 3 minutes thereof.
Another look at that delightful ball to the far post. Bassi, it looked like it came off his hand.
Yeah, there was a little touch of the hand. Yeah. I think if VAR was in effect, he might be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
But no VAR, no complaints from South Africa. Bassi really deserved it after starting that move deep on the left-hand side, getting past Nkota. Now Moses Simon. Back at Iwobi. Now they're playing Nigeria at their most dangerous. Nkota. A little bit of a slip, but possession with Mbule. That's turned over. They're winning the midfield battles now. You wonder if Mbule might be a potential change at half-time. Just try and strengthen things up in the middle, South Africa. Did choose Obas over Mbata for extra strength, and Gazana doesn't clear that. Oh, yes, Moses Simon gets the cross in, dresses. Was on top of that, but Gazana clears it away. Iwobi, it's all Nigeria at the moment. Dele Bashiru scored against South Africa in the last World Cup qualifier, the 1-1 draw in Uyo.